Since the end of spring 2019, The Morning Watch has published over 30 articles, over a dozen videos, and has had several meetings and different events throughout the whole year. I'd say mission accomplished. This is Undeniable with Sergei. Here I highlight news the Morning Watch has reported, things that weren't reported, and further information, indoctrination, and leftist bias at Michigan State University. We have had several highlights this year for the Morning Watch since spring 2019. Several highlights that we've had. One of them is being awarded the best new publication of 2018 to 2019 by the Intercollegiate Studies Institute. We got an award here at our conference back in September. Myself and Jadarian Rogers, the recruitment manager for the Morning Watch, went there, and we were presenting this award for being the best new publication, which is a great thing to, just an honor to receive. The Morning Watch at that point wasn't even a year old when we got this award, and we were already, had national stories, video series. We had hundreds and thousands of views on our articles. Just a great year, and we felt very, very great to receive this award. And we kept going throughout this year, bringing several other highlights, which was one, we had 33 articles just since spring 2019, over a dozen videos, several meetings and events. We've added 2 full-time contributors. We've had nearly a dozen national hits, for national review for our article on MSU telling student workers not to use Sir, Ma'am. Campus Forum publishing our story on the pro-life display here at Michigan State University being attacked and destroyed. Also, they reported our article on drag queens being reading to children in MSU dorm, being paid for by different MSU departments, including the Writing Center. For the article about the survey that we put out, where this MSU leftist professor put out this survey just with completely derogatory and racial slurs, just put it out there to see the offensiveness of people. We reported that. That was picked up by Breitbart, USA Today, The American Mirror, and several others. That article alone on our website has gotten close to 4,000 views. 4,000, it's a lot. The Daily Wire also picked up our piece on the cultural appropriation boards. It was great to see, they actually had it titled like, cultural appropriation campaigns across America, starting with Michigan State University. So we were one of the first stories out there about this kind of stuff. We're glad to report it, and that was just a big highlight for us this year. In addition, we have several impacts on campus this year. This fall semester a lot has been going on at Michigan State, and we've been reporting a lot, and a lot of people know this. So you've gotten very great recognition on Michigan State University's campus, whether that's, famous or infamous. Probably more infamous, probably most people don't want to hear a name. When they do hear a name, they kind of run. We actually, we were doing a video for Watchdog, going down the sidewalk, and I walked up to a professor, student professor, it's like, hey, we're student publication, we'd like to, ask a few questions about blah, blah, blah. I think it was about Constitution Day. And she looked at Emma, and I was like, and I said after I said the Morning Watch, she's like, the Morning Watch? And she kind of huffed and walked away rapidly. So, great recognition. We've had, several professors mention us in class, most of them not too good. We do get, unfortunate, slander and harassment, pretty daily basis, either from student government, from professors, from just crazy leftist students. But, it means our names are getting out there, and it means people realize that we're a watchdog and we're reporting leftist bias, and they might not like it, but we're doing our job. And, it's unfortunate that some of them just aren't really that tolerant, even though they say they are. Also, just recently, all around our cultural appropriation articles, so the university put up these boards saying, hey, you can't wear this, you should wear this, don't do this is offensive, sombreros, crossing the line, offending people. And I heard from a friend of mine about, a meeting of community directors and residence assistants over in East neighborhood, where they were kind of like, oh my gosh, we didn't realize this whole board stuff would get out there, getting picked up by, local news outlets. I did several TV interviews about it. It got onto, obviously, Daily Wire, other publications. They were kind of like, oh my gosh, like, we didn't think this would get out there like this. People aren't really liking this. It's like, well, really, people don't want to, want this shoved down their throat. But it's just crazy, that whole meeting, they were really just antagonizing over this. They're worried. But you put up at a public university, and don't get mad when it goes public. That if it's going to be thrown in the face of all these students, it better be, you better be more than welcome to have it thrown across the face of the nation. And also I ran into another person who had just recently met, but he's heard about the Morning Watch, conservative. He's an RA, McDonald Hall, one of those halls. And obviously wants to stay anonymous, but he was telling me the same thing. They're kind of worried about all this publicity. These things are getting out there. No longer. Years past. It might go to campus reform. I did an article, campus reform on the cultural appropriation boards last year, and I don't know about the years even before that, but it's getting out there now. And people are reacting. And so really, we've had a great fall semester. We've been thankful just to have help from a lot of supporters, our readers, friends on campus, friends in Lansing, just really helpful. We just actually had 2 large fundraisers last week. Very successful. We're very appreciative of, the help, just the support, encouragement. Also been just the local political events, and people are saying our name. They're, hey, this is the Morning Watch, like, get out there, read their stuff. We're very thankful for those mentions, very thankful for, retweets, likes, shares on Facebook. It really does help, for more people to see this stuff that is coming out of Michigan State University. It's very important. Just in that, I'd say mission accomplished. This fall has been mission accomplished completely. We're going to be going forward next year. Got some new change I'm going to talk about. But really, just real quick, it's really important to review our scope. For people watching, we talk about white privilege boards, we talk about cultural appropriation, we talk about, drag queens in MSU dorm, we talk about, this survey that MSU put out, or the MSU professor put out. It's important to review the scope of the Morning Watch. You get, constant questions like, well, how do you determine that? Why do you report on this but not that? So just real quick, so in our reporting, the Morning Watch exposes leftist bias, does not promote conservatism. Now it might inadvertently, definitely gonna be open to that. It's not gonna, if we report, we're gonna expose that there's white privilege boards on campus, and that might cause a reaction saying, hey, that's kind of weird. I'd rather be, more individualistic, being more American, more conservative, and say, hey, I'd just rather judge on the content of character rather than what you look like. Sure, yeah, it might lead to different conclusions, but what we're reporting is just the leftist bias. You report the occurrence of events, stuff like that, not what the reader should think. In our news pieces, it's not what you should think, or it's not saying, based on seeing these white privilege boards, you should think A, B, and C. No, it's just saying, hey, these white privilege boards, they had this, this, and this from these sources. This person said this about it, blah, blah, blah. That's it. So definition of leftist bias, obviously, bias towards leftist ideas, practices, perspectives, persons, stuff like that. Modes of leftist bias, include how we separate is descriptive and then soft prescriptive is one, and the other mode is active prescriptive. So descriptive and soft prescriptive is, where they're at events or at panels or their boards up on campus that are promoting leftism. They're saying, white privilege is a thing. They're saying, we need to have more diversity training. We need to recognize biases. Here's what you should wear for Halloween. Don't offend people. Stuff like that. Where it's describing, this is America. They're describing, hey, America's all about white privilege. Okay. And then maybe a soft prescriptive example would be, you shouldn't wear this for Halloween. So it's prescribing what you should do, but it's soft. And I'll get to why it differs. So this includes, leftist rants in classes, leftist student group meeting. They're talking about, banning guns. We just did an article 2 weeks ago about a student group wanting to, stop any sort of guns being on campus, even, concealed carry, stuff like that, permit, or statements by MSU. These are all fair game of examples to report on. So active prescriptive is, the active persecution of conservative, non-leftist student groups or ideas, perspectives. So this is, this includes physical attacks against conservatives, attempted removal of conservatives from ASMSU, or being shouted down, or mandated diversity sex ed training, or diversity or sex training with, are fair game. So saying, all students must go to this diversity training, that's active, rather than just describing, in the diversity training, this is white privilege, etc., etc. So the difference of these two mainly is, active prescriptive tend to go against, laws and are not protected by any law. It's one thing you have free speech to say that white privilege is a thing, but you don't have the right to, throw someone out of a room because they have white privilege. So where are we heading in this next year? So we've had a great, fall semester. We just celebrated being over a year old. We have the Best New Publication Award that we got from the Intercollegiate Studies Institute this fall. Also the Michigan Freedom Fund, they awarded myself, but mostly in part for the work of the Morning Watch for, preserving freedom in the sense of, we're exposing leftism, exposing indoctrination on campus. So really a great year, and people recognizing it, not just groups like Michigan Freedom Fund or the Intercollegiate Studies Institute, but politicians, local leaders, all these communities. So where are we going next year? So obviously we're continuing, our high volume of articles, our, professionality, our reporting style, what we report on, exposing leftist bias. That is going full speed ahead. Continue with that, probably 3 to 5 stories a week that include or not include video, stuff like that. We're gonna keep going, hopefully be nationally recognized in our stories, keep getting that getting good stories out there, getting those picked up, want to keep that going. Continuation of Watchdog with interviewer Emma Crabtree. She's also social media manager, keeping that going. It's a great way to interact with students on campus. Also, Undeniable with Sergei will keep going, where we break down stories of the week, how they relate, to a broader national topic, or just more of a culture war, take on this kind of stuff. Obviously, you'll still be able to get, news, satire, opinions from the Morning Watch, all that great content we've been putting out. A few changes, though, for this next year as we head into, especially election year. There's going to be probably a lot more cases of leftist bias. Don't know for sure, but going off what 2016 was, from what I heard it was pretty bad. So some changes is a lot more expenses on social media, website, merchandise, paper for flyers, doing a lot more, getting a lot more money put on that stuff, getting a lot more social media ads, really trying to expand our base and online feed, getting more merchandise. We got a lot for this year, but we're running low. We've been handing out, koozies, pens, flyers, stickers, just wherever we go, we hand those out. So those are flying through, get more of that. We're gonna try to get more video content on stories. So, the right equipment, getting stuff like that, trying to, get those things caught on camera, not just, the article about, this professor ranting or this student government thing here, but, right on camera, right for the whole world to see, get that out there. Beautiful stuff, really beautiful stuff. So moving more into that, get more of that content. Also a greater, watchdog emphasis on campus. So, maybe looking more into, some more FOIAs, stuff like that, looking into not just, leftist bias that is obvious, but, uncovering stuff. So looking at that realm of things, very interesting stuff, a lot of changes ahead, but continuing with, successes that we've had, and really, expect, the Morning Watch to keep exposing bias, leftist bias, producing a lot of content, 2 great video series. Maybe we'll add more stuff like that. We have a lot of offers for more staff and contributors that we're working through right now, trying to trying to get the right people involved, hardworking, ready to expose leftist bias on campus. It is a lot of responsibilities, but remember, we do have open positions both for staff and contributors, and also obviously if you don't really know how you can get involved, you don't really see yourself working for the Morning Watch, something like that, just feel free to get in contact with us. We'd love to figure out some way where we can get your help or your resources, or somehow you can get involved with us exposing leftist bias, in an objective and not subjective manner on MSU's campus. This has been Undeniable with Sergei at The Morning Watch. Subscribe to The Morning Watch on our website and also to our YouTube channel, and also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay up to date with the dominant and unwelcoming culture at Michigan State University. Thank you, and thank you for a great year. Bye.